So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Darryl here from 74 Games, bringing you Toon Chaos. That's right, Toon's got some amazing support in Toon Chaos, and I thought I would bring you an update. Now sadly, I was unable to pull all of the cards or get hold of all of the cards that I needed to complete this as fully, but I have done a proxy profile, so I am going to use the proxies for it. I have updated the deck as well with some new strategies, some new power plays, and I'll explain everything as we go. I will also do you a test hand at the end of this video as well, just to kind of show you the standard plays that the deck now makes and what the new cards actually add to the deck itself. With that said and done, please smash the like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe so you do not miss out on anything. With that said and done, let's get on to today's profile of Toons. Yes, so Toons are Pegasus' crazy cartoonist deck, and a little bit of fact coming from Joe as well is he actually gets the inspiration from watching a Looney Tunes cartoon, which is why the thumbnail is the way that it is. Anyway, we start off with double Toon Dark Magician. This is your core card. 3 is a little bit too bricky, but it could be put up to 3 if you wish, in my opinion. It kind of just gives you an additional route. But ideally, you want to get to Toon Dark Magician because you discard a Toon to either add any Toon spell or trap card, or special summon a Toon monster from your deck. So the way this kind of works is you'd go get Toon Dark Magician to the board, use the effect, ditch a Toon, special summon out Red Eyes Toon Dragon, Red Eyes Toon Dragon, then special summons a Toon from hand. Wham, bam, thank you man, you've got 3 Toons on the board ready to rock and roll and do damage to your opponent the next turn because they still have summon sickness in 2020. Anyway, we then also play 2 of the brand new Toon BLS as well. So this is the new boss monster. What makes him really kind of cool is the fact that he can pop a card. So you target one card on the field and banish it. So he can't attack for the rest of the turn. Doesn't really matter. If you do it on the first summon, he's going to have summon sickness. So he just then goes, okay, cool, effect, banish. And you go, alright, cool. Next turn. If you don't want him to attack, effect to banish. And he's just a nice little 3k wall that a lot of people will struggle to get past, especially when you've got Kingdom rocking and rolling in your back row as well. We then move on to the... let's finish off the Toons first, and now I'll go on to the honorary Toons. So we play 4 one-offs. So we play the 1 Dark Magician Girl, the 1 Harpy Lady, the 1 Mermaid, and the 1 Cyber Dragon. So the Cyber Dragon is, if you go second, you can search him out quite easily, special summon him down, and then use Chimera Tech to kind of clear the board off. Or he's just a free Toon summon as well, if you're going second, as a normal Cyber Dragon. 2 Mermaid, again, is just another free summon. Harpy Lady, again, is another free summon. But she can actually pop back row, so if you use her off of the new card Toon Page Flip, she can become a quick play back row pop as well. And then we've got the 1 Toon Dark Magician Girl. Weirdly, one of the only ones that can be, or doesn't have summon sickness. It can't be normal summon to set. So if you wanted to put Chaos Space in here, you could do in order to search out your BLS and your Toon Dark Magician Girl. And the way that that would work in nice kind of synergy, oh no, sorry, you can only search out your Toon Dark Magician Girl, and you would have to send your Cyber Dragon from your hand to the graveyard. So it's kind of like, it's just an option if you wanted to go that route. For the spell cards, because the extra deck, oh no, not even spell cards. Before we finish the spell cards, triple honorary, the Blackstone Legend. The reason this is so important is because it can get you into your Toon Red Eyes. So the idea is, this is your only main normal summon of the deck. Everything else you want to be your special summons of your Toons. But you normal summon this, tribute this off, get your Red Eyes out, and then the Red Eyes lets you special summon another one from hand. So if that is Toon Dark Magician, you then get further extensions off of the back of that as well. So very, very important card. He can recycle himself, and he can recycle the Red Eyes in the graveyard as well. But 3 of is just so important because you need to see it early doors. You need to be able to get to it early, and you need to be able to kind of get your plays going for your Toons because they are Toon cards. They don't have as much kind of consistency, especially with that summon sickness. It's such a hard hitting effect to have on a deck in 2020 as well. We've then got Triple Pot of Extravagance. The extra date is free, so you don't have to play this. You can play Desires if you want, but the idea is behind this, because your extra deck isn't really specific, doesn't contain high value cards that you absolutely have to go into and you absolutely have to play. Extravagance is just nice to give you a bit of consistency for the deck as well. We've then got Triple Toon Page Flip. So this is another of the brand new cards as well. So if you control Toon World, reveal 3 Toon monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to special summon, ignoring its summoning conditions, and shuffle the rest into the deck. So again, this is another nice way of getting your Cyber Dragon out. But because it's also a quick play as well, you do it during your opponent's turn, kind of bypasses Summon Sickness, because you summon it during your opponent's turn during their end phase, and then you go during your turn, you start doing attacks, or you start building your board up. Because you've got Toon Kingdom in play, you can start attacking directly, and your opponent's like, oh, okay, I'm going to struggle to stop that. We've then got Triple Toon Bookmark, absolutely broken card. So you add 1 Toon World or card that specifically lists Toon World in its text. So the majority of your cards say can't attack unless Toon World's on the field. So you can pretty much search out 100% of your Toon cards. It can search out Page Flip, it can search out Kingdom, it can search out Bookmark, sorry, it can't search out itself, except himself. So it searches out Kingdom, Table of Contents, it can also search out Mimic Cat, Comic Hand, and Briefcase and Terror. So you search out pretty much everything apart himself. So 99% of your Toon cards, which is crazy, crazy good. Triple Toon Kingdom. So the reason, or the biggest issue with this right now is it's only had 2 prints. But keep this in mind that at the start of July we get the Legendary Duelist, that this actually came in as a rare, as a reprint. Then towards the end of the year we also get the Dragons of Legend reprint, which will have the original Toon Kingdom, will hopefully have the original Toon Kingdom in it as well. It makes sense that this would be reprinted in those, because it then just allows Konami to sell that further product as well. I personally want the Dragons of Legend stuff because I want the dice. I think they look really cool. And the Legendary reprints might be kind of cool as well, depending on what they do with those. We've then got Triple Toon Table of Contents, because if Bookmark wasn't enough, you can use Toon Table to pretty much add a Toon card from your deck to your hand. So it has to be a Toon card, so it can't search you out your Comic Hand and your Mimic Cat, but it can search out everything else. So this can search you out 98% of your Toon cards as well. You can even search out itself, so if you really want to go hardcore deck thin, you can do. The new card that I've put in, or a card that I had in and then took out and then put back in, is Dark Magic Veil. Now the reason this is so important is because I've said how important Dark Magician is. Whether Dark Magician is coming back from the graveyard or coming out of your hand, paying 1,000 life points to get him on the board, to then be able to trigger his effects in order to discard to search any Toon card. It gives you easier access to get to your Kingdom, gives you easier access to get to your Bookmark, your Page Flip, even gets you into your Red Eyes to then extend even further. So it's very, very important and very, very good to kind of help you extend your plays further. You could cut it down to 2 if you wish. I just feel that 3 gives you that consistency of, I can search out my Dark Magician consistently, so if I can search it out and get this, I can then get him on the board, and then my plays can start going from there. So it gives you the power plays this deck desperately needs. Double Comic Hand and 1 Mimic Cat. Now the Mimic Cat is only at 1 because it's searchable, but it also relies more on your opponent, whereas the Comic Hand is just basically a mind control. So it's like, alright, if I'm going second, if my opponent doesn't have anything good in the graveyard for a spell or trap, I don't really want this. I'd rather have this to take one of my opponent's monsters, make it a Toon, and then start poking directly with that Toon monster. And then the Mimic Cat is good. I just feel Comic Hand in these situations is a little bit better than that, which is why I'm playing it a 2 and a 1. For the other one-offs, we've got the 1 Reasoning. You play everything. You play level 1s, 4s, 7s, 8s, and I think that's kind of it. Oh, 5s because of Cyber Dragon as well. So hitting Reasoning is actually really, really good. If you know, or if you come up against Toons, the one number you're going to want to call will be 7. You don't want them getting a Dark Magician or a Red Eyes on the board for pretty much free. But then, of course, if they hit the Blackstone of Legends, they're going to be doing most of that anyway. But it's why it's so important and it's so powerful in the deck as well. For the final one-offs, we've got the 1 1-for-1 and the 1 Terraforming. Obviously, Toon Kingdom, it is a Protect the Castle deck. You need to get it as early as you possibly can. So playing a 4th Toon Kingdom in Sense is what you're doing here. And the 1-for-1, get into your Blackstone of Legend. I've told you how important that is, and that's kind of what you need to set up. And an insane combo with this is you activate this, ditch a Dark Magician, if you've got the Dark Magic Veil in hand. So if like your opening hand is 1-for-1 plus Dark Magic Veil and Dark Magician, very, very rare, but it does happen. You then activate 1-for-1, send Dark Magician, bring out the Blackstone Legend, activate the Dark Magic Veil, bring back the Dark Magician. Dark Magician, as long as you've got a Toon card in hand, can go off. If you don't, you can go Blackstone Legend into Red Eyes. Red Eyes can then special summon 1 from your hand, and it just kind of shows you, I mean, a brief play, and I'll show you more when we do the test hands of where this deck can go from there. And then finally for the traps, we've got the 2 Toon Briefcase and the 1 Toon Terror. So Toon Terror is the brand new counter trap that when a spell or trap or monster effect is activated while you control both Toon World and a Toon monster or monsters, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only activate 1 Toon Terror per turn. Very, very good, very, very powerful, searchable counter trap. But the reason I've gone with Toon Briefcase is Briefcase isn't once per turn. When your opponent summons a monster or monsters, while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster or monsters into the deck. So if your opponent like Pendulum summons, you go Briefcase, all of it goes back to the deck. If they just their normal summon, you go, okay, Briefcase, shuffle it back into the deck, and then their turn kind of falters if they can't use and abuse the abilities that they needed on the board. I really, really like Briefcase, which is why I play it too, personally. On to the extra deck. So like I said, with the extra deck, I'm going to do the exact same as I did in the proxy video. I'm just going to go over like the boss monsters, the possibility monsters, and kind of what you need in the extra deck. Everything else can then be put, or your choices can then be put at freeze. It really doesn't matter where you kind of see it from there. So we'll go with the XYZs. We've got the rank 7 engine. These are probably the best rank 7s, and a rank 8. So the rank 8 is just kind of fills the spot of a boss monster and protection for your Toon Kingdom. But it does require 2 BLSs, so you have to kind of get BLS out normally and then get him off of Dark Magician, Red Eyes, or of course Page Flip as well. Big Eye and Flare, because you've got 4 level 7s, it's probably the rank you'd make them more consistently. So Flare is for the burn, Big Eyes is for the steal. So if you wanted to, because you're playing Extravagance, you could bump Ding up to 3, bump Flare up to 3 as well if you wanted to, just for the consistent factor. We've got the 1 Chimera Tech Mega Fleet because you've got Searchable Cyber Dragon, search Cyber Dragon out, special summon it, get rid of that Appaloosa, go straight into Chimera Tech, and then you've got rid of one of your opponent's negates already, and off you go. So it's more for go second, but it is a very, very powerful defense play. We've then got Lambda and IP. So this is literally for going first place. If you open up really well, because most of your cards require you to have Toons, and like the Toon Kingdom doesn't turn all monsters you control to Toons, which is a bit sad. If it did, that would be sick. But the way this kind of works is if you get 3 Toons on the board, like whether it's through your Harpy, your Mermaid, your Toon Flip, your Dark Magician, your Red Eyes, whatever, as long as you get them on the board, you turn 2 of them into either an IP or a Lambda. Lambda is more important with the side when you're putting in the Gammas. IP is better going first, because then what you can do is you can back your board up with an IP into Unicorn play, backed up with like a Briefcase or a Chaos, so that with the 3rd remaining Toon monster on the hand, you use your interruption with Briefcase or of course with Chaos, deal with that threat, then go into IP, and IP goes from there. Of course, if you've got Page Flip as well, that's another route of getting that 3rd monster on the board for you for that disruption play, and it's also another route to get your 4th monster on the board so that IP can jump into one of your biggest boss monsters, which I'll explain when we get there. You then want a range of level 1 targets, so mainly the best ones right now are Link Rebo and Anima. You don't require the Link Zone, so Anima is actually really good, but the idea of this works is you turn your stone if it gets like impermed or veiled or anything like that to stop it using its effect on field. You turn it into a Link Rebo or an Anima. Anima for going second, Link Rebo for going first, and then you're still able to recycle it from the graveyard and move your plays further forward that way as well. You've then got the other cards that can come off of IP, so you've got your Cerberus, I've done it the wrong way around, let's go, Cerberus, Phoenix and Unicorn. So obviously back row, special summon monster and any card. So you can, again, maximize these if you want to. The main ones you need is at least Unicorn and maybe Phoenix. But Cerberus is quite good right now because of a lot of the extra deck loosening up and a lot of people putting cards from their extra deck into the main monster zones with like XYZ issues and stuff like that. So you can maximize these, or you can just play the engine as it is, and whatever you have left after Extravagance, you're either going to spin back row or front row. Then you've got pretty much an extender. Don't need to rely on this card, but because you're playing the Dark Magician, you're also playing Dark Magician Girl as well. All you kind of need to do is use one of those to get into Celine. Then you can revive it, and it gives you instant kind of link for the climb to get into your access code talker. So for your boss monsters, again, you don't have to play these. If you're on a budget, I would play 000 Boros because you're going to be banishing off of Kingdom's Protection, you're going to be banishing off of Extravagance, and you're going to be banishing off of Kingdom's General Activation as well. So that's where 0 Boros comes in the best if you're on a budget. If you're not on a budget, having a mixture of the 3 is great because access, like I said, you can climb into him very, very easily. You'll have a range of attributes, fires, lights, earths, darks as well, in the graveyard for him to use his ability to clear boards off and be an exact colossal monster to deal with. And then, of course, you've got your BLS because you've got your Red Eyes, you've got your BLS, and you've got your Dark Magician, which are level 7s or higher that you're going to use to link summon and then give him additional protection. So it's just a lot that you can play around with and a lot of power play to make as well. And that's really what makes the difference for the deck right now is less so the BLS. Like, the BLS is a great introduction, don't get me wrong. A very, very powerful boss monster for the deck. But, like, when you actually look down at it, it's the spells that make this deck so much better. Like, I loved, as soon as Bookmark was revealed and as soon as Page Flip was revealed, I was so happy because I was like, this is exactly what the deck's been crying out for so long, is just ways to get to the Toon cards. The only thing that would have made it better is if it had built-in Toon protection and basically said, cool, if your Toon monster would leave the field, or if your Toon Kingdom would leave the field, banish this card instead. Because what Bookmark does have is, if Toon World or Worlds would be destroyed by card effect, you banish this card instead. So, I mean, there's a lot of cards right now, Unicorn being an example on that one. If a card would leave the field, there's a lot of cards right now that are like, cool, I don't need to destroy anything, I can just spin it, I can just banish it, I can just do this. So it's a little bit outdated, that protection effect, but nonetheless, very, very good. Okay, so as promised, we're going to do a quick test stand of going first and second to show you what the deck can do. If you want to see more test stands and in-depth combos, please smash the like button and let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do so. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you the defensive behaviour of it going first, and then the second hands are going to be a little bit different because what you need to use your Toons for going second is to kind of link climb and break your opponent's board, because let's not forget they've all got summoning sickness. So if you want to make Toons go second, then definitely put in Dark Rulers no more, because not being able to attack or do damage to your opponent is not the end of the world, as long as you can use the effects to break the board. So after a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our opening hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Absolutely insane. The Toon table definitely helps out massively. We're going to activate Extravagance. We're going to act as if our opponent hasn't got Ashes and Veilers and all stuff like that. But of course, this would be one breaking point on that kind of course. So we're going to draw 2. No matter what 6 we banish, it doesn't really matter. And then this is actually, that is nutty as heck. So with the Toon table of contents, because you kind of want it the most, I would go straight for your Bookmark. And then you're going to activate the Bookmark to get you into your kingdoms. You're going to activate the kingdom, but I would wait before you activate it, because what we want to do is we want to make sure we get the Red Eyes play off first. So we're going to activate the 1-for-1. Doesn't really matter what one you kind of send. Ideally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go send the Red Eyes, and then you're going to go into the Blackstone Legend. You can use the Blackstone Legend's effect to get rid of itself to special summon down the Red Eyes. You can use the Blackstone Legend's effect next turn, so not this turn right now. You're going to shuffle this up. Now before you use Red Eyes' effect, I would use Toon Kingdom, because now we've got the second Red Eyes out of deck. I'm going to show you what we banish. Usually these come face down. So you lose your Dark Magician, which isn't that bad, because now what you can do is you use Red Eyes Toon, special summon Dark Magician from the hand. Zoom out a little bit more. There we go, let's bring this down. Special summon a Dark Magician from hand. You're then going to use Dark Magician's effect. Now, in all honesty, the BLS is of no use to me right now, so ditching this to add a Toon card is absolutely fine. So for defensive plays and purely first turn defensive plays, I'd go for the Briefcase, because then what you do is you set your Toon Terror, you set your Briefcase, you pass. Now your opponent's not going to be able to beat these because you're just going to protect them with Kingdom. If Kingdom is going to be destroyed, you banish Bookmark. If it's going to leave the field in one way or not, that's where you hit Toon Terror, and you hit Toon Briefcase to stop your opponent putting anything like a Unicorn on board to cause you issues that way. So obviously the idea is you're going to protect the castle, you're going to protect your monsters. Your next turn, you're going to switch these to attack. No matter what you draw, Toon monsters great, but no matter what you draw, as long as you've got a Toon card, you can use Dark Magician's effect to ditch that. Special out the BLS for the banish effect, or you special out the Toon Dark Magician because she won't have Summoning Sickness. And then you attack from there. Alternatively, if you feel that you're going to need another turn, because this is only going to do 49, sorry, 49. Yeah, 49. You could actually search out another Briefcase if you wanted to, or another Bookmark just to deck fin and give you protection in the graveyard as well. You can also go for Page Flip to use your plays further forward from there. So that's just kind of a standard little defensive play. It is Toons, of course. Summoning Sickness is, you know, it'd be cool to have a card effect that negates the Summoning Sickness effect. But then again, you're just having monsters that go, okay, cool. It doesn't matter what board you build. I'm just going to be able to attack directly over it anyway. One card I really like in the deck is Quaking Mirror Force. Now it's a little less relevant because of Link monsters right now, but just being able to Quaking your Mirror Force your opponent back in the day, and then they just sat there like, yeah, cool, your Toons are now just going to start attacking directly, was always a great tech that I love playing. Anyway, we'll shuffle this up, and now we're going to show you going second. So shuffle it up, cut it, and our second hand will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why can't I draw this good every time? Yeah, this is nutty. So straight away you've got the Dark Magic Veil to get your Dark Magician to the board, which can then trigger to send any of these Toon cards to the graveyard to get effects off from there. So what we're going to do is, I'm actually going to save the bookmark for a monster. I mean, you've pretty much got whatever you want right now, like literally anything you want. Let's go Page Flip off of one of them. Let's go Kingdom off the other, and then let's go, depending on what your opponent has set up right now, probably go for Comic Hand or Mimicat. So you can go for either one of those. Another option to get one of these, we'll probably go with this for a bit more aggression. The other route you could go is you could get a trap card to be a bit more defensive as well, because right now we're not really going to be able to go huge distance, but we're going to have to put in like quite a lot of interruption to our opponent. So what I would do is I would activate the Dark Magic Veil, special summon a Dark Magician from hand, use the effect of Dark Magician to send the Red Eyes, to then special summon the BLS. Now if you wanted to, you could special summon out any other Toon monster. You could have searched out a Toon monster off of the Toon Table of Contents. That would have allowed you to go for Red Eyes. Red Eyes would have then been able to special summon another card as well. So you would have been able to go, okay, ditch the Red Eyes from hand, make this Red Eyes. Red Eyes could have then special summoned a different Toon from the hand to the BLS, but it would have all been in place of one of these. So ultimately what you could do is, instead of getting the Toon Page Flip, is if you went for the BLS itself, then use Dark Magician's effect to special summon the Red Eyes. I think this is better. This just gets you more monsters on board. Then Red Eyes could use his effect to special down the BLS. The Page Flip just gives you another option of bringing out a different Toon monster, whereas this guarantees it. Then what you can do is you can play the Kingdom, banish 3. Sadly, these all have Summon Sickness, so you're not going to be going too far. So 1, 2, and 3. You can activate the Comic Hand to steal something, and off you go. Then if you want to, because you're playing aggression, what I would argue, so let's say Toon, Comic Hand steals something, or you can do Mimicat. You're going to have another monster on board. That's all that really matters. Use BLS's effect to banish a card. And then what you want to start to do is you want to start to link climb. And by link climb, what you want to do is you want to put different attributes into the graveyard, because I think we're not going to go for the kill, but we're going to go for a lot of damage right now. So I'm just having a look. You can go into the BLS link monster if you want to, but we're going to go for, we're going to act as if this isn't a link monster, or if it is a link monster, it's something completely different anyway. So you can go these two into the IP, and then you would use IP plus the Toon to go into Selene. You're going to have more than 3 spells in graveyard, so Selene is going to be able to revive the Dark Magician. If you had another Toon card in hand, you could use his effect again, but then what you want to do is you want to then use this and this. Obviously the Comic Hand would still be attached. This and this to go into Access. Access is going to have a light and a dark in the graveyard to banish and pop to. You'll then still have, where did I put the Toon? Comic Hand, which is that one there, boy. You'll then still have the Comic Hand attached. So then this will be attacking for 53 after popping 2, plus you banish 1 off of BLS, and then you'll still be able to attack this Toon monster directly, because it becomes a Toon, and it can attack your opponent directly as well. So you just go boom, and pretty much as long as this is 3k or more, you've done damage and you've pretty much won the game from there. So yeah, that's just kind of why the Selene kind of combo is really good in this deck as well. You're going to burn through a lot of spells and build from there. Anyway, if you want to see more of these test stands, by all means, let me know. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the original profile. I'll try and put the link as well to the proxy. So if you can't get hold of the Toon Chaos yourself, you'll be able to get hold of the proxy, so you can build the deck and test the deck physically yourself, getting ready for when you actually get your Toon Chaos cards in as well. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And as always, guys, happy dueling.
That's all, folks.